What up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of the Found Her podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Chaika, and I'm back with a solo episode of season 2. Let's go, baby. This is gonna be a shorter episode because I literally have to run out the door and go to the cities. But procrastination is what we're here for, so that's what we're doing today. But today we're talking about a topic that I've been dealing with recently. My goal of season 2 is to try to talk about topics that I feel like I've needed versus, and I guess I've done that. I just start to second guess myself a lot. So I feel like I want to talk about things that I feel like is going to benefit people, but also things that I need, because I feel like that way it's going to come off more relatable. But as always, I adore feedback, so it helps me so much. So if you have any feedback about any things that you're struggling with, things that you went through on the journey to finding yourself, anything that you can think of, please shoot me a message because I'm all ears. I'm always open to new ideas. So today we are talking about a topic that many of us can probably relate to because it's all about overcoming self-doubt and fear, which if you're anything like me, I feel like we deal with it a lot, and I think it's normal, but to a sense, we have to find a way to overcome it. Otherwise, it's going to prevent you from doing a lot of things in your life. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so first things first, I want to talk about the fact that our brain is consciously, what's the word I want to say? Our brain is actively working against us, and it's not a bad thing. We love our brain. It's there to protect us. But when it comes to going after things that are difficult or things that are hard, your brain is literally hardwired to protect you. That's its main job. It's kind of I don't even want to say fight or flight all the time. It's just your brain is literally there to protect you. End of story. So anything that seems scary or I don't know, unknown, whatever it might be, your brain is naturally going to tell you, you know what, Kelly, you probably shouldn't do that. And so we have to be actively aware of that and know how to fight back against it. When it comes to self-doubt and just being scared of something or not wanting to go after your dreams, I think the main reason a lot of us don't is because we are believing a lie that may have been said to us or we have heard along the line of our life, and we're believing it to be true. And that can be very detrimental because, for example, if you back in grade school, one of your teachers told you that you weren't smart or you're not good at math, that plants a seed in your soul that makes you think, okay, I'm not smart enough. I'm never going to be good at math. Or one of my coaches, I remember one time in middle school, as if this even matters, but one of my coaches, I was playing softball at the time, and he basically told me that I would never play the position that I wanted to play. And I think I wanted to play second base or something. And I was fully an outfielder. I had no business being infield, and I agree with him. But when he told me that, internally I was like, oh my goodness, this is awful. And I literally quit softball right after that because I was like, well, that's pointless. Why would I even go for something if I know I'm never going to get there? But I should have. Obviously, I didn't have the tools in my toolbox at that time when I was in middle school. But what I should have done was leaned into it and been like, you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong. And I think that's the switch that needs to flip in your mind, because so many people you're going to come across in life are going to tell you that you can't do something, and it's going to make you doubt yourself. And you're going to fail at things all the time, and it's going to make you doubt yourself. You might start something that you thought was going to be super successful, and it's not, and it's going to make you doubt yourself. But you're going to have to figure out a way to use that doubt or whatever it might be to fuel you. I get so hyped when people tell me that I can't do something, because I'm literally watch me. I am going to figure out a way. There is a way to do everything, especially when it comes to, I don't know, anything with your goals. Everybody starts somewhere, you guys. I literally was just talking to this girl the other day who runs 50 miles. She was like, yeah, I just ran a 50 miler or whatever. It was a 24-hour run. I'm like, that is actually insane. I could never do that. And she was like, yes, you could. I started the same way that you would. And I started at 1 mile. And I'm like, okay, that sounds so cliche, but it's so true. With anything in life, we're all starting at ground zero. Kim Kardashian started at ground zero. Tony Robbins started at ground zero. Ed Milet started at ground zero. So if we're out here watching all of these other people do the things that we want to do, why are we sitting around doubting ourselves? I truly believe that the enemy wants us to not become the best version of ourselves. And so what is he going to do? He's going to plant seeds of doubt, seeds of fear that's going to prevent you from doing the thing that you want to do. And you have to actively be aware of it and be able to fight against it in order to get what you want in life. And it's not going to be easy. I don't think you're ever going to reach a point in your life where you're like, you know what? Nothing's scary anymore. I'll do anything. Like, you just got to live by the motto, which it's so cheesy and I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but the motto that's feel the fear and do it anyways. You really just have to feel it and you'd be like, you know what? I'm scared. And the reason I'm scared is because I care about it. And I'm not going to allow myself to give up. I'm not going to allow myself to believe these lies that I'm hearing or like I've heard in the past. And I'm going to go for what I want and I'm going to be successful. And if I'm not, I'm going to learn along the way. So that is my first situation there. So when it comes to believing that lie when it comes to believing a lie about yourself to be true, there's multiple different situations that this can occur in, whether you are thinking about switching up a career. This seems to be a really common thing that people are going through, especially in our 20s and 30s. It's like we're all going through this midlife crisis of what the heck are we doing and what am I meant to do with my life? Switching up your career can be so scary, but it's so worth it, I think. One of my friends, I was literally just sitting down and talking to her the other day. We are going to have a podcast coming out soon, but she told me that there's a statistic out there that says you change your job 7 times in your life. And that's not just like changing your job here and there. It's literally you change your job from like teacher to event planner to nurse. Like on average, people are changing their job 7 times. So stop being so scared to change your job. It's normal. And just keep in mind, you're not going to know everything right away. I remember I used to always be so scared to switch to a new job, and I still am as I'm like actively looking because I'm terrified of the initial process of getting a new job and not knowing what the heck is going on. Like I don't like not knowing. I don't like feeling I don't know, just like uncertain. And you got to get over that fear and you got to just be like, you know what? This is going to be good for me. It's going to pay off. Everyone starts there and go into it. And I promise you're going to do better. But also some of the lies that you could believe about yourself that are currently preventing you from doing what you want is potentially feeling like you're not good enough or you're unworthy of going after the goal. Nobody cares about what you're going to do, or you may have told people your idea and they think it's silly. Whatever it is, all of those reasons sound so valid, and I'm sure they probably are to you, and you're like, it is valid. Like, I really don't feel like I am worthy because X, Y, and Z. It's a lie. Like, I'm telling you, they're valid reasons, but they're not true, and you got to stop believing them. One way I try to counter that is to speak positively over myself. And I'm not really good at this because I feel like affirmations can be a little cheesy sometimes, but they really do work if you do them consistently. Like some of the most successful people in the world talk about positive affirmations daily. And one of the, like, if you're giving yourself affirmations, wake up in the morning and literally while you're putting your makeup on, or if guys are watching this while you're like on your way to the gym, just out loud, literally speak to yourself. I am worthy. I am powerful. I'm a leader. I'm getting all the places that I want to go. I am successful. Money flows effortlessly to me. Like, you got to just speak positively. I'm so grateful for the life that I have. I'm on the right path. Like, the minute you start to talk to yourself and train your brain to believe in yourself, you are literally unstoppable. The minute you start believing that you are capable of everything that you want, I promise you are so unstoppable. But it takes a lot of personal development. Read the books. Wake up and read the 10 pages every day. Read your Bible. That helps so much. God is the one who gives you your purpose. And so bringing him into that is essential. But there's so many things that you can do, but just start to speak positively. Any moment that I'm like down in the dumps and I'm like, I hate my life. This sucks. I'm never going to be successful. Like, if I'm being honest, when it comes to this podcast, couple girls I know started a podcast around the same time. They have a way bigger following than I do, and their podcast is so successful and they're so good at social media, and I'm just not yet. And it's so easy to look left and right at other people and compare and be like, you know what? Like, I'm not good enough, or mine's not as good as they, whatever it may be. And you start to compare yourself. Stop it and be like, you know what? I'm on the path that I'm meant to be on, and I'm doing the dang thing, and I'm gonna be successful. If you're new to the gym and you are not liking the way that you look yet, but you're showing up, don't look at other girls who look better than you and be like, oh my gosh, like I shouldn't even go because I'm never gonna look like that. No, be like, wow, I'm such a badass. The fact that I'm even here is incredible. I'm gonna do this workout, whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour, and I'm gonna show up for myself and I'm gonna feel good. Like, literally, you gotta hype yourself up. You can't wait for other people to become your hype woman or hype man. You gotta be it for yourself. And the minute you do that, I promise you're gonna be so much more successful. It has helped me so much. The other thing when it comes to doubt or fear around something, I'm sure you're sitting wherever you are. You're listening to this, you're on a walk, you're sitting at home, you're like, okay, there's something that I'm doubting myself on, or something that I'm fearful for, whatever it is that's in your mind. If you love it and it like keeps popping up in your brain, go do it, because it's literally meant for you. I was listening to the Jay Shetty podcast with Alicia Keys the other day, and they were kind of touching on this. But they were like, you have to have some level of love for what you're wanting to do. Like, you got to be passionate about it in order for you to be successful. But if you love it and you keep thinking about it, do it, because there's a reason for it. Like, we don't keep thinking about the same thing. You don't keep thinking about quitting your job every day, or starting your own business, or going to run a marathon. Like, if you're thinking about it all the time, and then obviously you love it. Obviously you're passionate about it and you're meant to do it. So I just say lean in and go for it. And if you fail, it's okay. Like, if you totally drop the ball and mess up, somewhere along the way, I guarantee you learned a lesson that is going to teach you something. So it's not failing. Like, we got to be a little bit more open to the idea of failure. If you're somewhat of a perfectionist like I am, and you want to be good at whatever it is that you do, that can be hard. And I'm learning that right now and just trying to work through it. But overall, you just have to be okay with the fact that you're going to fail. And what does failure mean? Nobody really knows, because at the end of the day, you're going to fail, but you're going to learn something from it. So is it really failing? I don't know. This podcast could totally flop. In 2 years, I could literally be like, that sucked. And like, I don't know. It could totally flop. Same with whatever business venture you start. Same with the new career that you start. You could start it and for 6 months love it, and then it could flop. What did you learn from it? Like, you're gonna learn something. And what did they talk about? They said something, I can't remember what they said, but if you really think about it, who has ever started something and succeeded on the first try? I think we get so used to seeing people in the public eye that launch a business and you're like, oh my God, like they did so great right off the bat. We have no clue how many times behind the scenes that they failed, or how long that they've been working on that, how much effort they put in, whatever it may be. I just think it's so essential to recognize that you're gonna fail, whatever it is that you do, and just be like, you know what, I don't care, and stop caring what other people think. If other people make fun of you and they're like, that was terrible, why did you do that? I don't give a literal F. Like, literally stop listening to other people and just do it for you, because if you keep thinking about it and you're passionate about it, you're meant to do it. So just go do it. And I wish I knew all the things that you guys are thinking about, but whatever it is, go do it, because I think it's meant for you. And I think the other thing we have to realize is, whatever it is that you're trying to do, the time frame that you set for yourself for it, it might not always happen in that time. I mean, we know that God has a plan for us. We know that anytime we try to make a plan, it most of the time does not end up working. I think it will eventually, whatever you go for, but it might not happen in the time that you want it to happen. And that can be scary, and that can cause you fear. And you're like, okay, sometimes we set goals for ourselves and we're like, oh, if I don't hit this level of success in 1 year, I'm going to quit. No, just appreciate the journey and like learn the thing that you're trying to do, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, on the whole journey, you're going to find yourself a little bit more. You're going to grow. You're probably going to surprise yourself and realize that you're more capable of what you thought you were. And I think that's the best part. So overall, if I could give any tips, obviously I've given a couple so far, but just stop allowing fear and self-doubt to prevent you from doing whatever it is that you want to do. Start reading the personal development books. Start giving yourself the affirmations. Start believing in yourself. And if you're sitting on the other end of this phone, camera, whatever it may be, and you're like, Kelly, easy for you to say, like, I don't have the means to do it, like, whatever, you're just in a state of like feeling low or you don't have the resources. I literally don't care. If anything, you're going to have a way better come up from nothing. You're going to shock so many more people and allow yourself to flop, like allow yourself to literally fall flat on your face. It is so embarrassing to me when I, like, if you reflect back on things that you've done before, I think that's the other cool thing that you can do is just reflect back on how much you are capable of. I literally have a self-tanner on and I'm probably sweating from it. That's embarrassing. But look back on all the things that you've gotten through in your life and be like, I was talking to one of my friends the other day and she goes, I am literally so positive that I can get through anything, like without a shadow of a doubt, anything that's thrown my way, I will be able to get through it. And I just think that's the right mindset to have. Like, look back at your life and reflect on all the things that you've gotten through. Reflect on all the things that you've accomplished. Pat yourself on the back. Like, you've probably done a lot of shit that nobody knows about and gotten through a lot. And you just got to give yourself more credit. And we're not, whatever you're trying to get into, I mean, if you're trying to start TikTok, the thing is not oversaturated. Just go do it. Like, I think the one thing that prevents us a lot from doing it as well is we think somebody already did it better or somebody's going to do it better. If you have an invention idea and you're like, somebody on Shark Tank's going to come up with it. Or like starting a podcast, I was like, the market is so saturated. Like, why would I do this? But at the end of the day, if you have a calling for it, just do it. Stop questioning yourself. Stop doubting yourself. It's not worth it. I hope that I am like shaking you awake a little bit just to re-hype yourself up. Like, whatever it is you're going for, you got it. Your life is going to get better. I promise. And if you don't, like, if you're just doubting yourself when it comes to like mentally, day by day, just wake up and give yourself some affirmations, listen to a podcast, go for a walk, do the shit that you know makes you feel good. And I promise it's going to get better. At the end of the day, whatever it is that you're doubting yourself on, you're worthy of it. You're capable of it. You can do it. It's really not scary. If you're still scared, you can reach out to me and be like, this is my business idea. This is what I'm thinking about doing. This is what I've been thinking about for years and I haven't done it yet. Reach out to me and I will literally hype you up because you're meant to do it. Get yourself hyped. Dance in your kitchen, go ham, and I promise it'll be so worth it. Like, you'll be so much more confident. It builds confidence in yourself. I mean, that's another thing. You got to build your confidence in order to be able to be capable of doing it. But also, you can show up before you're confident. When I first started at my sales role, I was like, I was a nurse. I don't sell shit. Terrifying. And I got in my first consultation with somebody and I was like, this is going to be so embarrassing. But now, great. I succeed and I'm doing great at it. Like, you got to just learn and you'll build your confidence over time. You'll get better. You'll familiarize yourself with the process. And I promise it's going to get easier, but then you're going to push yourself more and it's going to get scary again. It's just ebbs and flows. So we got this. We're in it together. I struggle with self-doubt all the time. You just got to push past it sometimes and stop feeling so sorry for yourself and just go do it because I promise you can. It's terrifying, but just rip off the Band-Aid and I promise you'll be so happy that you did. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it encouraged you a little bit, gave you some hype for whatever day that you're watching this on. But truly, I am so grateful for all of you for sticking around, for the ones of you that do listen to the podcast. Love you. I appreciate you. Please give me feedback. Feel free to subscribe if you want to. Leave a review, whatever it is, good or bad. I am always all ears and I love feedback because that's the only way that I can grow. So that's all I got for you today. So peace and love and see you next time. Bye.